If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
So yesterday we quickly, tried to understand what are the different terminology being used widely, and it's more of for the beginners. It's like getting to know each other, like what are the business, different phases of building blocks, processes, what are the value chain systems, what are all these like from IT driven to business driven, paradigm shift um, with the evolution of solution managers over the time. And this is really helping customers achieve reduced cost of ownership. Definitely in terms of on-premise maintenance, the budget and stuff like that. It really helps with the bigger picture of, and also like disruption to the business continuity, right? So it avoids, gives you proactive alarm and alerting so that you are informed, and also in many senses it gives you the platform to innovate within your landscape and do some improvement, detect issues, and then put them in advance so that your business runs as usual without any disruption. So yeah, we try to understand lots of things. So today also we will come across lots of repetitive terminology topologies within the solution manager, and you know uh, as frequent we get into those and get to know about that. That's how we basically strengthen our understanding from there. All right, so with that, today we'll focus more on, let me share my screen first. Yeah, can someone tell if you can view my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah,
All right, yeah, thank you. So yeah, today we are going to, little bit, touch down with the architecture aspect of solution manager, the base platform building, what all the software components are that, and their evolution, the release information. I think many of you, these information are already there, but we will try to, cover a little bit of what all things, what are the different blocks which helps architecting the whole solution manager framework. So with that, quickly, I would ask all of you to go through this disclaimer. So this is compliance and what to do's and don'ts. All right, so getting back to the agendas for, starting agendas for today's is, in between, am I audible good or?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. So we will be, going through what the solution manager is all about again, and what are all functional areas. We have already discussed about this and their evolution and what are the release schedule and all, and what does it translate into. Everybody nowadays, the organization is talking about being digital, right? So be it a organization or be it a individual entity as a region, geography, or the states, the countries, everybody is trying to be now digitized, right? So um, be it our business processes or anything that we do in the space of these business transactions, we would like to be digitized and transformed into the digital. So that's the focus nowadays. Every organization, they are trying to do that. So yeah, so we have already talked about, like say for example, we have many legacy applications wherein we have a predefined set of business processes, be it a finance module or procure to pay or sales distribution, materials management, and whatnot. So we kind of we say we have the as is module which are there, and what could be the visualization for that particular modules in terms of measurable business values. So we the kind of we do the design under that and visualize that where exactly we are standing, and we have the building blocks of this build functionality, right? We have seen, and wherein we discover the business needs and then fulfill them. We also seen about that the Solution Manager 7.2 is coming with a new terminology, which is a single source of truth. Run SAP like a factory, but now then, you can build like a factory as well. So that's the terminology now it is being used. It is again tightly integrated, all these building blocks, whether you do from the four major value chain system of solution manager is the portfolio to project, and then requirements to deploy. These comes into the build part, which is the more of the implementation life cycle or phase. And then operation parts comes into other two, like you proactively detect the issues in the system, and then take the uh, proactive measures to correct them, and then run your business without any disruptions. So um, that is another phase as a part of the operation. And then whatever are the end users or business users requests are there in terms of their day-to-day operations to fulfill their discharge their primary responsibilities. As a part of this solution engagement, we fulfill them. So Solution Manager 7.2, you would frequently come to know about these four uh, value uh, chain systems, like portfolio to project, and then requirements to deploy, and then detect to correct, and then request to fulfill. So this sides are the implementation part, and this side is what we can operations and maintenance of that. So we are, and all of these enterprise entities are, grouped into either of these value chain systems, be it your business processes or application or systems, and you do all those, continuous thing improvement for the productive uses and all. Um, you can integrate many non-SAP third-party tools and technologies and systems as well with the solution manager capabilities, wherein you can visualize your non-SAP environments as well. And uh, they have the interfaces, connectors, and they will fit into the seamless integration, so that you are not disintegrated, but you are very much integrated. and they are not left out. So it's an enterprise-wide integration that brings this solution manager capabilities on the table. Collaboration, as you say, like customer partners and SAP. So whatever the partners uh, chain or vendors or customers interfacing you have, you can definitely integrate them, do the interfacing and do the monitoring, and then reporting how it is looking like. So that's the best thing which I came into this that level of granular kind of visibility onto all of your partners ecosystems and all. And SAP, of course, everything that whatever there in your landscape. So each unique data system records are mapped to the SAP system, which belongs to the SAP products, and that flows into from solution manager to your service marketplace, what you call them as a customer profile, right? So you have the whole system information landscape into the customer profile, and that's where you build the strategy for develop and deploy maintenance planner. So uh, gradually we'll come across all those things because in the subsequent sessions we will have a deep dive how to do hands-on. Um, so from your remote system, satellite system, child system, how you push the data to your solution manager and then upload them into the customer profile. Um, so yeah, as we said, SAP, non-SAP, and Meta, any HANA, cloud, hybrid, whatever the out-of-box implementation operation contents are there. There are immense opportunities, and it doesn't give a chance to be left out. So that is a good thing, which is there. So everybody has their own share nowadays with this solution manager portion. Otherwise, previous versions, we have seen very limited functionalities and monitoring or whatever you can say. The metrics, very first level of visualization. But nowadays, yeah, we have a very granular level. You can go as many as layers you would like to, and that supports your organization. So that kind of, because say for example, um, procure to pay. So you're procuring something and then paying. So that end-to-end business process, again, you can drill down into there are multiple and number of uh, modules, what you can map it to transaction codes in SAP systems, right? And each of them is a sub-modules, you can say. So that level of, like sales and distribution, order creation, all those things. And then that is one single source piece of transaction. But order creation, again, it takes to a different navigational SAP screens and all. And they are end to end. If you map it, so you can map it like 1 to 10 steps involved into that. And you'd like to say what are the intermediary stages of those all whatever POs that has been created, and then um, uh, how many are pending, how many are open and closed and all. So that level of integration and things that you can do, and those are out of box. That's and you can customize very easily without having much effort put in there. So we were talking about solution manager, the value chain system. So these four things which you see: portfolio to project, requirements to deploy, and detect to correct, and request to fulfill. So these value scenarios, life cycle, view, which goes through from your operations to the implementation, build, and all of them. So if you see the portfolio to project, so you have a portfolio management, project management, and then requirements to deploy all these phases: test, deploy, design, requirement. So they are all four of these are having again segregated of all different components, and they are cross components. Like few of them are common to um, project portfolio to project, few of them are common, they are mix and match. So um, yeah, here you see like the different processes of solution manager. Those are defined under these four value chain system, which is the project management is the one that's, if you have a different portfolio running in the organization, then it becomes a part of the project. And then again, you do some requirements gathering, and then define some processes, build the test cases, and then deploy them. And then you do the continuous improvement for that, identify all those proactive defects that is supposed to reoccur or occur in some future point in time. And then again, you correct them, implement them, and the request to fulfill is something like you do with a ticketing tool and systems, which is ITSM. So basically, all these solution manager business, the processes that we have discussed in previous sessions as well, they are now belonging to these four value chain system of solution manager. Like, because when they shifted their focus from IT to business, now that's how they are visualizing, so that organizer or customer can um, look into them and then visualize the benefits, or and derive the values out of it. Again, the product evolution, right? So we have seen, right, earlier, even less than 7.0 version was very raw, very technical or basic thing, you can say. 7.1 again came up, with a very, exciting thing, little bit of exciting, and then 7.2 is blown up, it's stunning, what they call it. They have a, more than 15,000 productive customer base right now using this solution manager functionalities. So these digital business, what we were talking about, digitization of every aspects of the business entities. So that's what it delivers the values out of that. So whatever you can think in the space of that digitization as a project, now everything has been shifted from IT projects, from your traditional ITIL or what you will waterfall methodology, ASAP and stuff. So now they are going into fastly, aggressively moving into the agile approach. And even the SAP product developments are, and any application developments are happening in that way. And that is very much beneficial. So even the organization who are very starter beginners, I have seen many customers, they built their in-house team, they got the training from the outside, and they are practicing agile. So that is the thing. And SAP is also supporting in that terms, like their platform and building blocks are agile compatible, and that's how they are giving all those emphasis that wherever the business is, future state business is, they are bringing that solution, integrated solutions. So the cloud and hybrid, you have all these options. Then HANA is another, if somebody is struggling with the performance and issues. I'm not sure. I mean, there are pros and cons. Um, it's like a very debatable topic, like S4HANA can bring values or not, depending on the organization setup and need and their focus. But yeah, and this is what they claim to be. But actual usage and performance metrics and the live data, we do not have much visibility over that. Who is happy, who is not happy. But these are certain things which are being mandated. If you have to be with the part of the support with the SAP, you have to have, introduce some point in time. So you have to transform your landscape and introduce HANA. And finally, into the cloud. So everybody's, going into the cloud now. And yeah, so again, with these Solution Manager 7.2 and different SP level, um, we come across new UI, user experience. Okay. So as you have seen, right, Fiori tiles, or you can say work centers, which are UI5. All those, they are called, earlier it used to be called as a different within the SAP Solution Managers. It's a work centers. Now they have, transformed and changed it to, the Launchpad, where is the Fiori Launchpad, and you have the apps and the dashboards and all. So it's a little bit of nomenclature and terminology, conversion from previous version to new version. Otherwise, underlying things are the same. The authorization concepts or role-based of all these applications are remaining the same with the previous version plus with the latest one. Process management is something you have one single entity. Um, uh, Earlier version, many of you may know that we used to have a solution directory, right? So the and you are very much confused which one to use. There are different consultants are coming and they are creating, and there are many idle solutions are being created, and there is no proper segregation of logical components and grouping, and which is tagged to the project management. So, but now the whole thing has been um, sunset and then uh, combine into one single this process management. There is no concept of a business blueprint, technical uh, terminology that we used to use in the prior version. So now everything has merged into the solution documentation, or that you manage through the solution administration. So we have one root directory under which you can say if somebody running an organization, and that organization is the root starting point. What you can measure is a company code, right? So that is the root entity, and that's where it belongs to everything beneath that, below that. So that is a good thing which came up. Yeah, and then if we already talked about a little bit of this, so maybe I can. Okay, so here you see 7.2 was introduced full-fledgedly. Ramp up was already done in 2016, and then go to release came up in 2017, and that's where that was the end of mainstream maintenance of the previous version of Solution Manager 7.1 here, and the customer was said like you are out of support, and you had the time to upgrade, and that's where it goes to. So it started with like even way back, even previous versions. So let me share. Try some scribble pad. You can still see my screen, right? The new screen that I opened.
No.
Mm. Okay, now you can see, right?
Still no.
I shared my full screen. Is it still coming? Can you see the whiteboard?
No, Ashish.
Let me know when you see it. So, like way back in 2000, or you can say 2001, their initial release came, right? Where solution manager 2x was introduced, and then gradually it moved to 3.x. A very short span of time until 2005, and then 2006 came, 4.0, and then here you see sometime in after that, very closely after that, sometime came, 7.x. So 0 and then 1. And that's where in 2017, full-fledgedly, that 7.2 came in. So like, and that's what the endpoint for this one, 7.x. You have to upgrade it to this level. So this is the, the different version and then things, release information that came from there. And this is again going to, like, here you see nowadays the whole setup, which is here, this is going to be like 2027 with the mainstream maintenance, and the depending on the usage rights, right? We are talking about a usage right. If you have, because this solution manager thing is pretty much, you know, there is no separate license. It is tied up with your business suites, ERP, and all those stuff. And if you further extend the licensing and stuff, the contract, so they can give you the extension on-prem till to 2020, 2030. So after that, yeah, what is the next thing there? We don't know, but this is where the cloud thing comes, right? So cloud ALM, and that too based on HANA database, right? So everything, like by this timeline, you have to have a transform everything, and you have to move it. Otherwise, with 7.2, you have you have partially, or even you can say like more than 60% of the capabilities or utilization you have already implemented in Solution Manager with so much of investment. But by the time you you reach here in, say, for example, 2023, so you have implemented, you are utilizing maybe up till 70% of these functionalities. And after many 5 years, 4 years down the line, you are getting out of this. So these investments are where who will be accountable for that? We don't know, but yeah. So that's where they are putting the pressure and the things and stuff that you have to move it there. Okay, so I think this is the old timeline. Now they have the extended maintenance, which is like 2027. Initially, this is what that was figured out. But during this period of time, like 2018, 2020, they have introduced a lot many other features in product like focus build and all those stuff. So that's why they have further extended it to 2 more years as a part of mainstream support. So this is about the information and about whatever the different building blocks of Solution Manager. So here one more thing I'd like to take you into the picture, like architecture, and we're talking about the architecture and release information. I'll quickly let you log in into the system and see what are all different objects associated with the Solution Manager. And this is the Solution Manager, right? So in the meantime, you all have access to this system, servers and all. There is no access issues, right? Yesterday there were a few mentioning that, okay, you did not receive the email notification in the incorrect email. So all have tested and logged in already into the system and tried in with your login credentials.
Yes,
Can
I'm able to
someone?
log in.
Okay, all right. And you have tried all the places, right? All the three systems that we have.
Yes.
All right. I think then that login thing works. Okay. I don't know. Somebody's already logged in there. Okay, so here we would like to check the different release of the components and all and their usage. What are all those systems being used and for what? So with that information, if you see here, okay, so a little bit of understanding about that. Any ABAP system, right? Any ABAP system is their building blocks, platform. The base platform is what is called as NetWeaver. Okay, so NetWeaver and NetWeaver, we identify. You come here in the software component versions and then see what are the the base component versions like basis, ABAP, cross, whatever the cross application component. And so you understand that this is the vanilla installation that you do a plain NetWeaver system without having any other flavor of, application systems. So pure technical basis system, if you install at least these two components and combination of few more will be installed as a part of, plain installation. And their release is called, this is the release 7.4, and
Are you
this is the,
sharing your screen? We are not able to see your current ongoing screen.
is it?
Yeah.
I'm shared all of my,
Yeah, we are on same notepad which you have shared the releases about the SAP Solman releases something. Yes.
entire screen window. Maybe I have to select the window. I selected entire screen. Okay, can you see the screen now? I have logged into the server. Can you see the SAP screen?
No, myself, no.
That is strange. Let me know if you can see the SAP screen now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we were discussing about this. Okay, so for beginners, it, we are talking about how you would come to know about that any SAP systems is at what version, right? So, for example, so any plain systems, what we call them as a NetWeaver, right? We have now from older to newer many releases. So particularly, we will be talking about NetWeaver version 4, 7.4, and earlier version where whatever 7.3 and 2 and all whatnot. So, and then this is the base platform. Okay, this is the platform where the SAP is built on. All their code base, or you can say C++ language code libraries, they are built on that. Then here we run SAP application, right? Apps. Say, for example, we say it ECC or CRM or whatever, BW, or maybe Solman that you can see here. Okay. So all these, these are the business suites of applications, or ERP application, what you can say them. And for these application systems to run and operate, we need a platform, right? So the features, functionalities, add-ons that you put into a car, but there's a base thing into the car, which is the base frame of the car. So this is the frame of all the application where these are being launched. So you have to have the NetWeaver things installed, what we call them, and then based on the application that you are installing, if they are part of the combined package, what they came as a business rates or something. So then, say for example, these and these two comes as a combined, okay, package, wherein you have this one and this one, all those application which are to be a part of that package, or ERP suites like ECC. They are bundles, and when you install it, they both getting installed. After that, what you do is again BW is a part of NetWeaver based installations again. So there are some defaults components when you install a vanilla NetWeaver system. There are default components which comes and sit into their play. In case of again the solution manager, there are some you can say they comes as a part of that packages, or what we call them, along with this NetWeaver default components. We have there is another components which is called solution tools ST, and that's the solution manager. So you can build, say for example here HCM, okay, ECC. So say for example you have one NetWeaver system and you have the ECC, and you have built a system which is called, say for example, um, you know NetWeaver ECC1. This is the system ID, right? We talked about this. What we call is as a set system ID. So, and this is the technical terminology, right? So, um, so you have one system which is here. Now you choose, say for example, you want to introduce one more system, HCM, and you do not have much infrastructure in place. And this is hosted on one server, server one. So now you want to introduce this one. So what you have the options that, okay, you have HCM, you have another NetWeaver system, and then you can build a new NH1 system on server 2. Okay, that could be one option, but you need a separate hardware and and stuff like that. So instead of that, what you can do is, this is your central system ECC. So what you can do, you install the add-on over here and make this ECC and HCM as a combined system. So only thing is, it's like depending on the resourcing and capacity management, wherein you have to do a little bit of kind of sizing, perform the sizing, and you have to scale up the capacity of these particular system. But yeah, you can keep adding here one more add-on, keep adding one more add-on, and you can run the system as it is. So this is what a little basic background that I just wanted to see in terms of the beginners who are just starting with this SAP terminology. So in your user menu home screen, if somebody asking that, oh, okay, hey, can you tell me what system or versions or SAP systems you are running? Then what you do is you come into this here, go to the system, and then status. And here you see your system data, this panel, okay? And that's where you see what product is installed on this a major product, and that's where it is known as a part of the naming convention here. So here you see SAP Solution Manager 7.2. If you drill down into the more component details, basis component, so all these are called the components, whatever the basis components, and they are installed on these. So if somebody says, what NetWeaver version is that, your system? Any ABAP system you pick up and say, somebody asks you that, hey, what is NetWeaver version of that? Then you simply come here and see here, what is your SAP basis component release? So this is my NetWeaver version here in this is that NetWeaver 7.4. And this is just the terminology, release terminology. We call them as a platform 7.4, or that means 740. And what are the SP level is 0, 20, whatever, 28 SPS level. So most of these base components that you see here, BW, PI basis, these are the default components that you see here. So as a plain technical NetWeaver system, if you install ABAP application server, so at least these 4 modules, these 2, and then PI basis and BW. So these are the defaults, and you see their SP level is 28. So you can say support package stack. That comes like stack is something where every component is at the same level. And so here is the thing is that so our NetWeaver system 7.4 is 0.28. Now there are other things which comes also part of that as an add-on or something. These are again comes like these are the mandatory plugins, which is Solution Tools plugin, which comes as a part of Solution Manager. Here you see the Solution Manager component. This is the Solution Manager component. So what is the Solution Manager's component version? So here in this case, what we will say is our Solution Manager is 7.2 SP level 16 on NetWeaver 7.4, right? So this is what the system information you can say. And then we have STOST, which is for this is for which came with support package level, SPS 8, wherein you can use that focused build and focus insights. So this particular OST version, if you do not have these add-on installed, you cannot use that focus insights on dashboards and all. So you have to have this particular thing. So here I would like to, okay, there are other things here, STAPI, STPI, which is the supporting tools of the Solution Manager. There you would see there are PI count. I think we don't have here. We have. So this is again something like BW, right? Data warehouse, wherein all the data that you are collecting, be it application operation or technical monitoring or whatever data is coming, raw data which is coming from your satellite system or remote system, all those goes into this data warehouse of this Solution Manager component. And then a different level of, the aggregation happens, and that's how it goes to different layer of aggregation, and then finally it is projected to your dashboard. So this is again important. Without this, you cannot run it. STPI, STAPI, those are another 2 modules which are mandatory as part of this. And these you would see on your satellite system, the agents that you install them for Solution Manager to manage the data and collect the data from their metrics and all. So you have to install and compatible version. So whatever the compatible NetWeaver version here, you have to check. There's a terminology called product availability matrix (PAM) in SAP. You have to check what compatible version of the agents are to be installed on the satellite system or remote system or child system or managed system. And that's how without any error or situation, this comes and brings your data into play. Okay. So here again, CRM. Here you see CRM 7.7.13. And that means CRM is the web interface, because CRM we use for all these the business partner concepts, right? The installed base and all. So again, if this component is not there, you cannot use the charm functionality, ITSM, service desk and all, wherein all these agents and determination and all those are their support persons, right? So because those are identified by the business partner, so business partners concepts and all these comes with and also their you launch them because you know, right, the the charm that you launch through their T code is SM underscore CRM. That's what you call them. And there is a business role concepts, business roles, and all those mappings and things are done. So there are different components out here for different functionalities, and there are certain basic minimum things which are required. So each components, each module that you see in the solution manager, they are driven by some one or another components here. So if you saying that, oh, okay, you run the T code in your solution manager for focused insights, and you see nothing is happening, that means your this component is not add-on installed here. Okay. So again, yeah, one quickly I'll take I'm extending a little bit more, just 2 minutes. I'll just conclude and we'll break for 10 minutes. So another thing here quickly I would like to say that might be confusing to everyone, and you must be knowing that when we say we go from um, 7.1 when we migrate to 7.2. So this was on NetWeaver version whatever 7. Uh, less than um, 7.3. And now 7.2 is something which we are saying NetWeaver is a mandatory 7.4. And when you are bringing the base platform on 7.4, you have to split this, the ABAP and Java, right? So you have to split this ABAP and Java component. Now, these are again NetWeaver system. This is again another NetWeaver system, which is on NetWeaver 7.4. This is Java application server, which is NetWeaver 7.4. But somewhere you will be finding that big in very later case of SP level, you come to know about that, hey, in solution manager our ABAP version, NetWeaver version is 7.4, but Java is not 7.4. Java is 7 NetWeaver 5. Okay. So don't get confused here, because this is the requirements of these solution manager one component where we introduced this thing STOST, right? Which is for focused insight, right? So once you add on these version of 7.4, wherein you have your ABAP 7.5 running here and Java also running 7.4, the moment you add on to this, you have to bump up your Java NetWeaver to 7.5. That's where come. You have a heterogeneous NetWeaver platform here. The moment you introduce this STOST, and which is you know, which comes with, you know, SPS Solution Manager SPS 8 onwards. Okay, so you have to have these mandatory things because that, you know, there are two components again in Java side, which is LM service. You will see, and another is what is that? Um, the main Java engine, which is part of that. So what I mean to say is here that don't get confused if somebody is saying that it's NetWeaver version 7.5 and we have a heterogeneous kind of environment. So that's where you have to understand and see. So and this Java application server where we mainly use the SLD, right? So these are the core components of architecture, components of the Java solution manager part. So LM service is all for diagnostics, right? Where you use CA, what used to be Wiley interoscopes and all, and monitoring and stuff for non-SAP system, right? Non-SAP. Mostly it is being used for non-SAP systems, whereas they have the capabilities to. So yeah, sorry if somebody has asked some questions or something. Okay, so with this, okay.
Is the ST will come as a default in NetWeaver 7.5?
No, it's like see SPS 8 onwards. Yes, they are coming as a part of, you know, package. They have built as a package installation. So it's not
SPS
like
018, SPS 018, 7.5, right? NetWeaver 7.5.
no, SPS 08 of Solution Manager onwards.
Okay.
So if you're migrating something onwards, that if you're patching to SPS 10, then you have to bump up your Java NetWeaver platform to NetWeaver 7.5 from your NetWeaver 7.4. So NWA, I'm more 10 into more minutes into that. Yeah. All right. So we were talking about Java systems, NetWeaver versions, and also yeah, can someone quickly volunteer how we check NetWeaver Java versions? Quickly, any idea of where do we check, how do we check, and see what is the NetWeaver version of Java application server? Okay, so let's see, let's quickly go here.
Configuration tab, I think.
In the configuration, where do you see that?
1 minute, I'll tell you.
Okay, so here you see system information on a high level. This particular SAP application server Java is on 7.5 version, which is this reflects as NetWeaver version. But again, you can directly go from here, or you can go from, you know, home page of application server, and here you see the system information. So from here, either you can go there or from NWA. From here, there's a hyperlink also, which brings you here. So if you see here the component versions, so this one that you see, all these base Java components which are here, base Java 7.5. Okay, so this is your NetWeaver version, and this is your SP level. So this is where, because why this Java is on 7.5, because we have ST, that component for focus STO, right, introduced, and that is where these version is compatible, compatibility, how they have defined, I have no clue, but yeah, that's the release strategy from SAP, that you have to patch up or upgrade your NetWeaver version from 7.4 to 7.5. So this is the NetWeaver version of that Java systems and the patch level that we see here. Apart from this, say for example, you have your many third party, right? Third party tools. Say for example, external scheduler, or maybe some other tools like um, the defect quality management, HP quality center, or maybe you can use some other third-party tools integration here. So for these third parties, each of them give their own add-on. Okay, they give their own add-on, each of them, and they will give you, if you want to integrate Solution Manager with any of these, so you have to, this is your Solution Manager ABAP version, and you have to install this add-on on this Solution Manager, and then you can configure and start using the external um, tools or technology that is there in your landscape to support them. So you can say like anything and everything, be it SAP to SAP, be it these integration tool, third-party tool, or be it non-SAP, where you have all kind of the custom databases, .NET applications, other kind of, say for example, other applications which are there, WaveOps, DevOps. So all those, the technology and tools which are there, if you still want to monitor, so there are provision, and all of these goes through again the Java part of that. Okay, so what these non-SAP things are supported in Java portion, and that where we say CA intro scope, right? So we have the agents, we have we install the agents here and then collect the data directly here in the Java system. So what I mean to say is this gives you capabilities, out of box, beyond what not, and you can think of under your organization umbrella, and you can run through that. So it's very much flexible, and um, in terms of integration, and then you can start using them. You can still derive the existing third-party tool which are there, and then you can plug in there and then collect the metrics and do some kind of again as a part of mainstream application lifecycle management functionalities, which are the core functionalities. So they are tightly integrated. You can use more of them. Okay, all right. So this was about the more of the little bit background about how it is architected, and then the what all release version and all that. Now we move on to anybody has any questions in the previous things? If not, then we can move on to this little bit of understanding around what is called guided procedure, right? You must have heard these terminologies. Every now and then people are using, especially in terms of SAP now moving into the cloud and all those. The guided procedure are becoming nowadays very much useful in terms of it increases your efficiency and productivity as well for the support team, and in terms of overall the spending. So we'll move there. If nobody has any question, then okay. So this is again the disclaimer, and agenda, guided procedure, definitions, what are the application, where to be found. So quickly check here, like all those, the critical application, because for everything you cannot custom build all these procedure, and then you can make them available to use, ready to use, right? So if there are certain business critical things and there is a need of a very dedicated and focused person, support person is required for that, you can spend some considerable effort over there in building the guided procedure, and that will do the job, and you can use them as a template, and then you can extend it to some other systems as well. So, and then you can start using them, in terms of, again, when it comes to under the purview of solution manager. So every infrastructure and services you can leverage and make use of them. So plan, execute, document them. What are the procedures, 1 to 10 procedures you have defined, navigations. Like many of you have done the managed system configuration, right? So they also provide a guided procedure, right? Okay, there are steps 1 to, sub steps, and 1 to 8, 10, or 7, whatever it is there. And what are the mandatory things which are required to configure that particular and perform that. Otherwise, if you think of these simplified ways of doing the things, and if it is not in one place and there is no roadmap of configuration, what to do after what, you will be probably lost and you will be spending more and more efforts. Right, so individually in a staggered manner, if you are picking up one step, you can miss another step, and then again, if you run the whole scenario, you may run into issues, errors. Then again, you come back and start spending, troubleshooting, and there are lots of efforts that you are putting in there, right? That's where very, very streamlined and what is critically needed, and one after another. So for that, they have given this provision of guided procedure. So SAP uses them in terms of many system configurations. We will see majority of the base configuration are guided procedure, and we will follow them, wherein you can put the instructions, what to do, and all that. You provide as much as documentations and the tasks to be performed, and and you can create a multi-layer of tasks, subtasks under that. What are the dependencies? So everything you can build and create, and then put them for the execution and usage, kind of. So that pretty much summarizes that. Yeah. So this really helps in terms of efforts, in terms of the human spending over there. So it is consists of steps, sub-steps, procedure, one or more automatic. You can have a mix of automatic or manually perform activities, but even the SAP also having some guided procedure as a part of base system configuration, wherein you have a mix of things. There are certain things, obviously, out of the 10 things, you cannot automate everything, right? But then there are certain things that you have to perform manually. So those are the outliers. You have to pick and choose and make them, include them, perform outside the manually. Like, say, for example, you must have seen, right? Some note implementations, right? So some ABAP corrections are there, say, for example. So application team, they are facing some issues in some application, and then what you do is, but they might come to you and say, hey, see, this particular application is failing, and there is a guidelines, SAP notes available. And then what you do, they ask you to implement that note, right? So many nodes are automatically, implementable. You can see simply, download and then, you know, execute them, and then SAP automatically push the object code base and things into places, based on their component mapping and structure within the SAP library. And there are some nodes wherein you might have seen there are some manual corrections, and there are some semi, like yes, you have to do some manual steps. So yeah, so it's a mixed kind of thing. Get documented or already you have a very nice documentation there, instructions to be followed. You use the traffic lights, uh, red, yellow, green warning, kind of error and all those stuff, um, and all those set of things that you can do to identify where is the issue, what you can ignore. So it's completely, it's like you're training them that, oh, okay, if you encounter this particular step, then you can put them as a warning, and that can be ignored. As a system consultants, you can say like, okay, looking at that particular, message or something, you can say that, oh, okay, well, it does not have any impact in the system operations. So here you do the planning, then management, and then individual people work assignments, that their primary job duties which are there, and then you can the all of them, when you build a plan and build, then you can automate them in the terms of job scheduling and all, so that uh, whatever are there residual pending job to be completed. Say, for example, you have 10 items to be completed today, and if it is a repetitive kind of thing, then you can create and schedule a job, and that you're done. You don't need a person to do that. So this is again a good thing. What else is here? Solve, troubleshoot, exceptions, alerts. Yep, there are many things there. The logging, yeah, it gives you the different kind of loggings capabilities so that you can troubleshoot on that, looking into the error. So yeah, so this is about the guided procedures. See, this is one of the reference taken from SAP. They have built that many number of guided procedures. So the more number you develop and understand, the more efficiently you can run the so let's have a quick view here. So whatever the numbers that you see here, so uh, currently we have not custom built any guided procedures here in this particular system. Whatever the number that you see currently active, those are provided by SAP, or they have SAP delivered guided procedures in place. So and this is the one thing SAP is leveraging going forward, like many things in terms of transformation, um, uh, in terms of expert guided, what they call is expert guided procedures they are developing for having focused run, focused build, and all those stuff. And also migration stuff like from on-premise to the cloud. So yeah, and they are extensively they are paying attention and developing more and more guided procedure for complex scenarios, and they are simplifying, and that's how they say like it's uh, you know you say yes, and within 15 minutes you start transforming your things from here to the cloud and stuff. So that's how the simplifications and things comes from all of these guided procedures. So here you will see the list of guided procedures. Um, that there are many as such. About 54 here. See, system preparation checks, um, integration engine, Java, system checks for these are many of these are the subtasks as well. Yeah. So these are SAP standard guided procedures which are there in the place, but yeah, SAP provides the has the capabilities and giving the control to you. You can develop your own, and you can use them based on your business scenarios. And let's see what are on the application area. So these are the application area under that guided procedures. Okay, these are the processes. Here you go. So data volume, business process, job scheduling management, technical administration, interface monitoring, um, PI monitoring. So you will come to see here there the area, and these are even multiplying steps, many steps. What under that guided procedures, the task, how many steps are there, what all are there belonging to what areas. Under that, what all activities are there, or whether it is a part of the basic configuration or some custom activities, or batch processing, enable, disable. So let's see a few of them here, which are appearing over here. So say, for example, so if you go over here, system preparation, okay. So here you see there's a list of activities. So mostly you will see these are Uh, these are the guided procedures, and then under that, each of them, you have the activities to be performed. Here you see, say for example, check prerequisites. So under that, you have these many activities to perform, and all those prerequisites has to be met to have a error-free system configuration and application configurations scenarios and different processes of solution manager. So there are certain mandatory core thing which are required. So that has to be met before you start using the operational things. And see, so overall, they have, in terms of the procedure, what we used to do is, before, if it was not there, these things were very much disintegrated. We are saying, oh, okay, we first thing we define the role, what role you have to define as a quality production, or what kind of system is. So this is the very first step that you do. And here in the upper portion of that, see the documentation part as well. So it very much explains you, right, in this step what you do, and then you have to perform what all activities here, all the way down here you see. So the actions that you have to perform, all the nodes, applications, and the default system you have to apply. You have to key in the S user IDs for support backbone connections and stuff. So they have worked. Actually, this is something like you're planning that how it is being executed. So this is one of the technical areas, guided procedure, but you can develop many more guided procedure in terms of business processes as well. And under that, you will see, say for example, among these tasks would be whatever the activities are there. So say for example, every day you have to close many POs which are coming into the system, and there is a person available to support them. What they do, whatever come into that, and uh, they have a list of objects or POs that has to be open, close, or whatever. One subset of activities they have to perform. And what they do is, either they do some mass um, maintenance, or like they use some tool, external tool, or LSMW, or maybe there are many plugin tool are there so that you can simply upload and then your things are done. But the people are gradually moving, the organization are gradually moving to automate those kind of repetitive things, and which are there, and you can also build here. And the most important thing is that after say for example 1 2 3 4 step basic, if you have prepared the data for transactional data, now what is the next step? You have to schedule a job, and then that job will do the magic, and then you are done, end of the day. So that's how you first identify, plan, define, and then build some custom guided procedure over there. Okay, any questions so far? So we are gradually moving into these are just some terminology and things being used, and we will, as we move on, we will see the you will be performing all these activities and all the guided procedure and validating those what are there and all. So just for the awareness that, okay, these are the terms and terminology, you you should not be new to that while using them. All right, so let's moving on to the work center quickly. We have already seen, but again, um, I have put this as a part of overview. Let's see. Um, Still, we are using the terminology, the transactions, the Solman work centers, but Now, since they are being launched into the Fiori launchpad, so we call them as launchpad, and then all these work centers and things are nothing but the tiles, or you can say catalog, or the apps. So interchangeably, you use these terminology as in when wherever is applicable. So well, to this is the work center overview, and I think we have already displayed that particular things, work center overview part. And let's see what's there in quickly. Launchpad, apps, dashboards. So, and this is more importantly role based, right? So in your productive environment, what you do is you assign the particular role. There is a configurator, there is a project management, there is a the testers, and there are developers, and the basis people, administrator, configurator. So based on that, you assign their SAP role delivers, and you assign them based on these, what module of that particular work centers, or you can say applications, apps, or 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 Fiori catalog or tiles. Accordingly, you pick them up and then assign it. Solution manager. Oh, okay, these are all, part and parcel of that, the whole solution manager processes. So this 7.2 provides Fiori apps to perform specific tasks in fast and simple way. And it's just like navigation from here to here, other than the classical ABAP interface and that you see there. Solution Manager Launchpad, access Central Fiori Launchpad on the setup, and this is the T code that you use, SM_work center, and this is how it does look like. In groups, the Launchpad is organized in the groups. Here in the you see based on the dependency, the flow of the processes of the Solution Manager. This is logically put them in a group of bundle of different functionalities, applications into a particular work center. Functions are available using the tiles. You search or you can find. Personalization tab. Yeah, this is one of the things sometimes you will see that something are missing, even if you have assigned the role, but there's still some portion of the application you are not able to find. Then you can use the app finder functionalities in settings. That there could be some kind of left to right, what are displayed, what are not displayed, and those kind of settings you can do based on your need. Say for example, you are assigned to 10 things, but you're only doing the one thing, then every day you just want to display one thing, and the rest of the thing you can hide, right? It's just like the ALV display of the SAP tables, right? Wherein you can filter out the column names and things and stuff, and then so what is of your interest. User experience, yeah, it's nothing but Fiori apps. The user experience is very much enhanced. UI5 based, Flash based UI, browser supported. That's the thing, web based. But depending on the things, like many people doesn't like that, right? So you still would like to use your SAP because you are very much used to it, and probably initially you will be hesitant to use that, and it is very uncomfortable that, oh, okay, the way you navigate through the GUI, and here the things are little changed and different. You have to get the hands on, you have to acclimate yourself to that particular navigation ways of doing the things. So it's all about, the a little bit of change, and then you have to adapt the change and then move forward with that. I'll check on that. And there are some, dashboards that you see as a part of the, what are there, the dashboards, focused insights and all. So uh, early watch alerts, technical monitoring, all those alerts, SLAs. So different various kinds of technical to tactical to strategic dashboards you come across and see that all the KPIs and all. So let's quickly launch there one more time so that you're getting used to it. If somebody has not used before. Um, so it's already launched, right? So here you can, if you don't know, you can directly find like, say for example, change request. And that page is not configured. Say for example, I'm just trying to, this one, alert inbox. You have to give a character search. It directly takes you there and opens that particular module of that alert inbox. So yeah, there are things, and the best thing is that you can, everything is included in your side corner in the drop down, and you can quickly jump over there. And here you see there is a horizontal menu as well, but here uh, this thing you might have used in many places in any other application, SAP applications as well. So say for example, technical administration. So it will quickly give you the things here, uh, the very, very top level, take you there. Now I have lots of things here. Now let's see what I do is, these are role-based control, right? Say for example, and what I'll do is, I'll delete them. Okay. So I don't have any role now here in the backend, and let's see how does it look like. Because this is role based, and so the screen will have missing items. I have nothing. There you're gone. And then let's say, for example, there is one basic thing here. So likewise, you can check to see, like validate, like, oh, okay, how does it look like, and how it is related with the roles and all. So if you have not seen it before, then it would be interesting to, do some kind of play around. What happened to this one? Come on. Okay. Still. So unless until I provide some base role, that's the base role, and that has to be go with the each of the role that is supposed to be. So my home systemon config. Along with this, I'm providing the config role. So here I have only this particular workspace which came up, all the configurations part. So this is what I mean to say. This is completely role based, and but then yeah, we'll check to see like these are the roles, but these are directly delivered. But when you install the system, the profiles are not generated. You have to mass generate the profiles. So say for example, so yeah, so initially you will see these authorization values are yellow. So then you have to generate this particular profiles. So whatever the profiles are there. And then that is one thing that you do as a part of the post installation and all. But then you are not supposed to use the SAP standard delivered role, because time to time you might need to tweak it, the role a little bit, do the modification and change. So the best practice is you copy this role in your customer namespace, right? Say for example, Z, or you can say, you can use, there are two namespace that we use, the customer namespace. So SAP naming convention is from SAP, and whatever you develop your objects in your namespace, which is starting with either Y or Z. So All right, so we were talking about the checklist and prerequisites. What are the things needed when you install a new system from scratch, a fresh systems? So obviously, there are certain things which are part of the basic basis administration, what you do in your day-to-day activities as a basis consultant, right? So apart from the solution manager specific prerequisites or checklist, there are many of the things that you plan and prepare as a basis consultant, irrespective of the system flavor, right? You do the pure technical installation that you do. So all those notes, prerequisites, checks, and things that you perform. And apart from that, with the solution manager, there are certain things which are required as a. It's always handy to use and organized, and um, the more errorless kind of installation will be when your planning is good, okay, and all the prerequisites are met. So that brings lots of values to your efforts. And if you do some kind of high level, planning, not thoroughly, if you have gone through the whatever the master guide or installation guide, then you will miss out many things, and then you will break your head in the later part of troubleshooting them. So for that, yeah, we prepare the checklist, and then for related with the before starting the configuration of the solution manager systems, we have certain things that you do. So S user ID, right, which is very first thing that you need, wherein you connect to the SAP Marketplace support portal, and where your customer profile, right? Because every organization is given when you get the contracts with the SAP, you are given with um, the customer number, right? And then under that customer number, your whole system landscape data resides, and product, what all applications and systems are there. And under that also you have whatever the licensed product are there, all those catalog of softwares are bundled and visible to you, and nodes are wide open accessible as well. So apart from your customer data and licensing and the software products and all those bundle of the releases which are coming in, they are provided to you in the customer profile. So each organization is having a customer profile, and then to make a connection to that, basically you need a S user ID, and like it's just authentication and authorization mechanism which you follow to log in into any system. So that is the first thing, that is needed as a support backbone, what we call them now. Earlier it used to be SSO connections, right? In older version of systems, we used to have SSO transaction codes, SSO2, yeah, I think, yeah. And then you do the individual configuration out there, and make a server inbound, outbound of the SAP, and then route it through the router, SAP router, and then that's how you make the connection to the customer profile. And now here the thing is, they have a different terminology which has been introduced, SAP support backbone, and you don't have to maintain some T codes in the say for example. Here, I'm not sure if this is supported as well now. Nothing is happening.
using which method,
Yeah.
we have to update this communication user in AS user table.
Sorry.
No, in the last slide, you mentioned that, we have to maintain this S user ID for communications in AS user table.
Yeah. So you maintain them here. So if you make a task list, right? Now this is no longer valid. That SSO connection that you used to do, and here what comes and replaced by STCO, which is more of the task list configuration. And this makes you the whole connection of the support requirements in a secure manner, or whatever the SSL and things and stuff are required. But you are talking about the another steps which are part of that prerequisites, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you maintain this user as a communication. This is the S user communication for this is a T code also. So
Oh, so both
within
are
that
same.
T code,
Right? Table and T code
yeah,
are the same. Oh, okay.
right. So you maintain that particular things there. Um, Earlier, say for example, um, developer keys, right? There is a dev access table and all that. So the moment you enter into that in the whatever the place when you pop-up comes, and then the automatically it goes and sit into the dev access table, similarly like that here. So if you maintain this here directly from the configuration solution manager, the mandatory steps, it goes and sit there. So and you have to make sure that there are certain system communication users needs to be set up for SAP internal solution manager internal communications, right? Like many RFCs are getting generated for back RFCs, download, the exports, and that for the transport mechanism, all the STMS, RFCs related domain controller and all. So there a lot of RFCs are getting generated as well, and that's where you also need the user requirements, right? So yeah, we were talking about this SAP support backbone. Like earlier, the old concept of SSO login through which you directly run the T code S node, and then download the nodes which are available here there, and it will be downloaded immediately, right? So because this is connected through the SAP and already the connections are established, so under this T code you run this task list, okay, and then the setup and things, all those configurations, secured connection is automatically done. Majority of the works are done, and then you are ready to use the support connection and with the user credential that you provide in the S user ID and the passwords. So you can seamlessly download nodes, implement them, and it's a direct system connection with the service marketplace, basically. And so maybe the senior people out here who has been into the basis for many years, you might have seen like SAP also provides some kind of PCA tool, right? Post copy when you do the system refresh. So similar kind of tasks are executed here. Say for example, I mean, this is very important T code, the task list thing, which came up. So the copy thing, initial config and all their rephrase thing, there are many task lists which are, it's again kind of system, a web-based automatic guided things. You execute the task list 1 to n, and then your half of the and majority of the configuration are automatically configured. So like you do like in the system copy, like in the traditional approach was that you take a screenshots, take the backups of all the configuration, RFCs, the spool device configuration, and then logical system. There are BDLS and there are n number of things that you do pre-checks, right? And then do the screen in queue, and then after the data system refresh from production to queue, you again redo the and put the things back from whatever the backup you have taken, right? So, but nowadays, like if you use these tool, post copy my PCA tools and all, your 80% of those are backup already. You can export all those configuration into a transports or into a file, and then you can put it back. So everything is will be replaced. So whatever the production came into queue, if you import it back, everything will be as it is. So it makes your post steps very, easier in terms of um, because you have to do, pick and choose and do every task as a post step corrections, right? After the copy. Similarly, this task list concept, there are few functionalities as a part of system checklist and prerequisites and preparation. They have come up with the task list. Earlier, this was not there. So when you execute these task lists, and then there are some HTTP destination are automatically getting generated, which connects to your server support portal, the customer profile. So yeah, and these are again note assistance download that you do. Again, those are the part of that. And also, again, the basic, not part of the solution manager, but any basis installation that you do, phrase installation. So after the installation, what you do is you make your productive client, you copy from your existing SAP Deliver client and create your own client, right? That is the very first step that you do. So those are certain things which are um, STMS configurations and mm, all those transport route setup. So there are certain things, the checklists and prerequisites are more of the traditional basis admin jobs, but there are many of them are solution manager specific that you make the list and checklist out of that. So if you configure all these like kind of you make the checklist and then execute as per the sequence you have provided in the basic settings that would need you. There is a guided procedure for this particular checklist and prerequisite sets as well when you go to the guided procedure while doing the basic configuration. And it will tell you, it will inquire you into the system and see what are the things you have to update, patch, or what component are missing, and what configurations are broken and all those. So um, nothing to be worried about because you have to do, there are many automatic steps are there, but there are few steps you have to perform manually. We will do it. We'll check and validate what are those guided procedure for the basic settings, wherein you will come to know about the more detailed and specific checklist and prerequisites runs for the solution manager 7.2 SP16 at the time of validation of the basic settings. Okay. There are certain things like, kernel level licensing, STMS, the common things, the load generator that you do. There are certain add-ons you have to make sure if you are going to use that functionality, you have to, add on, do the patching for those as well. You have to set up certain dialog user for initially to have with the transaction code Solman_setup, so that you can start with the preparation of that basic preparation of the system setup and all. And yeah, and then we will see the user and role as a separate chapter. I have it. I thought like I will cover it, but yeah, there was some glitch out there. And we'll check to see what all authorization concepts and roles. As a part of this discussion, also we have seen like the work center roles and all, and we copy them into the customer namespace, and then we start utilizing after generating the profiles. So yeah, we'll check to see as a authorization and role needed. So that will conclude the overall, briefly the overview or introduction parts of the solution manager. So that by now, if you are already aware, if you are not, then at least you will catch up some terminology being used in terms of solution manager 7.2. There are certain new things. There are many old things which are carried forward, and yeah. So with that, we'll conclude that, and then we'll move on to the some lab activities and hands-on and other basic system validation and setups, and start from there. Okay, all right. So with that, I think we'll conclude on this session today, and we'll catch up more back. Yeah, thank you all for your patience.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.